everyone, my name is Alexandra. Today we're here with my colleague Mr. Summer and Mr. Amin to make our market updates.
It's a pretty interesting market as usual. In fact, no, it was a boring market. Last week we hadn't really had much of movements, markets and consolidating. Of course, that's after gold hitting the highest in history. And the tariff war between China and America is just rising up. Probably we'll see some pretty decent movement this coming week. So we'll see about that.
Putting tariffs on India, higher than expected inflation numbers, and on the other hand, we got a weak retail sales number for the United States.
All right, everyone. Samer Raslan is here. I'm a technical analyst at Xylostar, and here we are kicking off our market updates, starting off with the dollar index, just as usual. We can see that the dollar index is at its lowest since 2025 has begun, and it's finding a strong support at a level of 106.6. And we can see also this trend line for this descending or downward movement. So we're expecting from here to see a retracement because we can see a clear indication that momentum is weakening at this support. We can expect a retracement to the trend line and then perhaps a continuation to the downside after retesting the support once again. So this is about the dollar index. Speaking of Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin is actually consolidating within a symmetrical triangle. And we can see that market is finding a huge supply on the level of 108, 105, and so on. And also, market is rejecting to go below 92s and 90 overall. So we might see some consolidation. We still have a lot of liquidity to the downside. So even though we are fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin, we might see a technical liquidation to the downside. So keep an eye on that before taking a trade. Going to NASDAQ. NASDAQ, as we anticipated in the previous week, it was forming this beautiful ascending triangle for us, and the market has actually broken above, and now it's at all-time high 22.2, right? And from here we might see a slight continuation to the upside before retracement, or a retracement to the support of 22,000 before a continuation to the upside. Keep in mind, guys, NASDAQ is a very good opportunity for investments right now, especially because of the developments of AI and the future ahead. All right, so that's about NASDAQ. Now, speaking of gold, gold has hit its all-time high previously in the last week, and right now we are seeing some retracement. So gold now is actually consolidating between the highest of all-time resistance and a solid support of 2,870s, 70s, 80s. So from here, market actually has made a strong down movement in this Mariposa candle, as we can see, retracing the support and going up to fill this FVG. Right, so we might actually see, even though we are bullish fundamentally on gold, a liquidation to the downside for markets to grab liquidity from this support here, and also to retouch the trend line of this uptrend. So we might see that happening. We might see gold going to 2,850s before a continuation to the upside. Now, if it goes to there, that gives us more confidence to buy even more, right? If we're looking for buy, of course. However, it is still bullish, so the majority of traders will be looking to buy from the support. So we might also not see that liquidation happening, and we might see consolidation. So market comes at the same support level to 870s, 80s to the trend line and carries on to the upside. Right, so keep an eye on that.
Greeting everyone, hope you are passing life in the best way. This is Masoud Hamidian from Xylostar head office, which is located in Dubai. And today we are going to review the most crucial aspect of the financial market, which is fundamental analysis. Last week was completely volatile, so let's crunch the topic more. I want to kick it with the US inflation and CPI report. So the consumer price index, or basically the CPI in the United States, released higher than expected On Wednesday, 12th of February, for all urban consumers, CPI increased 0.5% in January after rising 0.4% in December. Regarding to the shelter index, it rose 0.4%, accounting for nearly 30% for the total monthly increase. The energy index rose 1.1% over the month, and the core CPI, which means excluding food and energy, it increased 0.4% in January. Regarding the producer price index or PPI, the other inflation tracking indicator PPI followed a similar trend. The PPI for the final demand increased 0.4% in January, and for the 12 months ending January 2025, it moved up to 3.5%. Regarding the retail sales data, retail sales numbers were completely different. Consumers lost purchasing power, and the report came in surprisingly lower than forecast on Friday, 14th of February. The other one was about the Jerome Powell testimony. So last week, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testified in front of Senate and Congress. Some senators and politicians expressed concerns about economic growth and affordability for U.S. consumers. Powell reaffirmed the same policies highlighted in the FOMC press conference in January. Regarding to the geopolitical developments, Donald Trump decided to impose new tariffs on the European Union and India. And regarding to the Ukraine and Russia conflict, so these conflicts are getting decelerated, and a Putin-Trump meeting is expected soon. The last shot was about the US corporates earning. So several major companies released their fourth quarter of 2024 earnings. Last week, McDonald's was the first one, reported a 1.4% decline in US comparable sales. It's the steepest drop in nearly 5 years, mainly due to an E. coli outbreak linked to its quarter pounder burgers. Regarding to the Shopify, revenue increased 31% yearly to $2.81 billion, but its first quarter of 2025 profit outlook mixed expectations, leading to 4% drop in pre-market shares. Regarding the Coinbase, surpassed expectation with the EPS of 4.68 and 138% revenue increase to $2.27 billion, driven by a strong transaction revenue. Looking ahead to the upcoming week, let's now have a look for the upcoming week in the financial markets. So for the economic indicators, in the upcoming week, we will start the week with the cash rate and the meeting for the Reserve Bank of Australia. And let's see what they are going to decide regarding to the interest rate and the cash rate. And later we are going to have the press conference of the chairman of the Reserve Bank of Australia. Later at the same day at 5:30 p.m. to Dubai time, which means 18th of February, we are going to receive the CPI numbers for the Canadian dollar. And on Wednesday, 19th of February, we are going to have the wage price index quarterly for the Australian dollar and CPI annually for the Great British Pound. And finally at 11 p.m. we are going to receive the FOMC meeting minutes, which is about the previous meeting of the FOMC members on 28th and 29th of January. On Friday, we are going to receive the Reserve Bank of Australia government bullock speak, and also retail sales for the Great British Pound, or better the UK, and the PMI, or better to say Purchasing Managers Index for the manufacturing and services side, both for different countries like France, Germany, and US from the S&P Global Institute. We are going to have also the retail sales number for the Canadian dollar at 5:30 p.m. on 21st of February. It's not going to stop here. Let's review also the corporate earnings in the United States. So next week we are going to receive the earnings of different companies like Carvana, Walmart, Unity, Alibaba, Rivian, and ST.
Well guys, thank you for watching us. Stay tuned and don't forget to put like on this video, subscribe us and comment.